My name's Erastus Maina Gunjiri, Production Manager, Rodi, Kenya. Rodi, Kenya stands for Resources-Oriented Development Initiatives, Kenya. And our headquarters are based in Ruiru. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about mulching. Mulching is the use of dry, green or dry leaves on the surface of our farms for the protection of various factors. One, as we have been talking about soil fertility, after the grass has rotten or it has decomposed, it adds humus into the soil, and this enhances soil fertility. And the other use of mulches is prevention of water loss through evaporation. When a thick layer of mulch is put around your crops, it prevents water loss through evaporation. The other help we get from mulches is the regulation of soil temperatures. When it is very hot or very cold and your bed was covered using a thick layer of mulch, the temperature fluctuation is not noticed, and this increases the microbial activity in that particular soil. So a lot of soil organisms can be found in such a soil because the temperatures are optimal and therefore encourages microbial activities in such a soil. And because soil fertility is made possible by the number of microorganisms in that particular soil, hence the microorganisms in that soil improves that soil fertility. And the other thing is about when, for instance, we have heavy rains, and those drops of rain hitting the soil are cushioned by the carpet of that mulch, and therefore the soil is not hard hit by the drops of heavy rains, and therefore it reduces soil erosion. Therefore, mulches are of paramount importance to the farmer. And when the speed and the heating of the drops of the soil is controlled by the layer of mulch, the water percolation is enhanced. Soil is able to absorb water instead of the water running and causing soil erosion. The water will be able to penetrate in the soil, and the water in the soil will help our crops grow better. Therefore, mulches are very important to the farmer, And we should encourage our farmers to use mulches for better food production. And the materials that are used vary depending with the availability of the said materials. But we organic farmers, we encourage farmers to use mulches that can decompose and improve soil fertility. Okay, the other use of mulches is it suppresses weeds. So when you have a carpet of dry leaves or dry grass on the surface of your soil, this inhibits the growing of other unnecessary plants, which in our case we'll call them weeds. So it's very advisable to choose your mulching material wisely, so that also to avoid introducing seeds. So it's advisable for the farmers not to use materials that are having seeds, because you will be introducing seeds in this particular field. And the other area to note is using diseased materials. It's very important to avoid plants that are harboring plant pathogens, because by so doing you'll be introducing these pathogens into your field. Also, because of the controlled heating of torrential rains, when you have heavy rains, you normally have splashes, and the splashing of the soil, and because some soils might be harboring some plant pathogens that can infect your crop. When you have a carpet of mulch, the splashing of the soil is also controlled, and therefore by the use of mulches you will be able to control plant diseases. And the other good thing about mulches is that the quality of our product is also very high, because you don't have your fruits, like maybe the tomatoes, being soiled by the splashing of rains. So I am advising our farmers to make use and make the better use of mulches, as we have seen, so that we'll be able to increase food production. There is also another method of mulching, but sometimes we normally don't regard it as a mulch, but it's also a mulch. Planting of trees. Trees normally control the weed, and when the weeds are controlled, water evaporation is also controlled. And also by the falling of leaves from the trees. If, for instance, you have planted trees along the borders, in the periphery of your farm, you will control those strong weeds, and therefore you will control water evaporation, and also you will control soil erosion by weed. And next we are going to talk about green manures. Green manures is the deliberate use of plants on a particular field in order to control soil erosion. And normally, the most used green manure plants are legumes. And it is very important to note here that it's better to use a green manure that will give or provide many benefits. In this case, I mean, for instance, if you use legumes as a green manure, you will be introducing nitrogen into that particular soil. And the other use of green manures is to protect the soil from erosion, because normally the green manures are planted and they are used as a vegetation cover. They also cover the soil properly, just like mulches, but here the plants are growing. Therefore, the green manures protect the soil from soil erosion and also prevents the loss of the topsoil because they act as ground covers. And the selection of the materials or the plants to be used depends with the farmer. You might decide to have green manures that will also be used as a fodder crop. Therefore, you can plant different crops depending with the use and also depending with the multiple use of that particular plant. There are various plants that can be used as green manure crops, and they range from leguminous trees like Sesbania sesban, Rucina rhocosophala, Cariadra, and I would like to mention here that these leguminous trees will give us nitrogen. They will fix atmospheric nitrogen, and also they are quick maturing plants. They will also be used as fuel wood. The farmers can use them for lighting fire, or they can be used as poles in the farm. And thirdly, they can also be used as weed bricks. So leguminous trees that I have mentioned can give the farmer several benefits. One, nitrogen fixing. Second, they can act as weed breakers. Third, they can be used as fodder for the animals. And also, the leaves from these leguminous trees can be used as mulches, and they can protect our soils from water loss through evaporation. There are also some leguminous plants like cowpeas. The cowpeas are used for vegetables, and also we get grains from cowpeas. There is also the velvet bean. Velvet bean is also very good because it has a lot of biomass and it grows very fast and it covers the ground very quickly. And also we have the black-eyed bean, otherwise called Darichos labrap. So, and the Dalcos rub is a very important bean for the Kikuyus. They normally call it njahe, and it is used, and it's a very special diet for the in-rows. So, Dalcos rub is also very ideal for green manuring, because it's also drought resistant and it covers the ground very quickly, like the mucuna or the velvet bean. So, and we also have desmodium. Desmodium is also very good, because desmodium is good for fixing of nitrogen, and also as a food supplement for the livestock. It's very good for protein in our livestock. So there are various leguminous crops that one can grow, but depending with the need and the use that the farmer is interested in. So, apart from the leguminous tree or leguminous plants giving us food, they are also incorporated into the soil. You can either plant leguminous trees together with the main crop, and therefore it will cover the ground and prevent the soil from erosion and also water from evaporation. But also you can plant the leguminous plants after you have harvested the main crop. Then you plant your field with the leguminous plants, and this helps you when you have removed the crop from the field and the field is left bare. You will be protecting this soil or this field from adverse weather, because the growing green manure crop will cover the ground and it will protect it. So, when choosing which green manure to use, you have to consider some other factors like the maturity. How fast does it grow? Because sometimes you have a limited time between the harvesting and the recropping of the same field. So, in between, that's the time I'm saying that you can protect your field by planting those green manure crops. Then, when you will be ready now to put the next crop, the green manure crop is cut and then dug into the soil, and it is incorporated into the soil so that it will now decompose, and the subsequent crop will benefit from the decomposition of the biomass that was incorporated into that particular soil. So, it is very important to use green manure crops. Although here in Kenya it is not very common, but sometimes farmers do it without knowledge, because after you have harvested your crops and the weeds grow, there are those frontier weeds that can grow, or there are those grains of legumes that fell from the previous crop and then they grow. But when you want now to replant your soil, you bring in your tractor, or whether if you are using an animal traction, you come and plow the land, and then you bury the crops that are growing in that particular field. So it's very important to practice these technologies, because our main objective is to increase soil fertility into that soil. So it's very important to incorporate a lot of organic matter into the soil through green manuring, and this helps to add a lot of humus into that particular soil. And when a lot of humus is in a particular soil, water holding capacity is enhanced. And when water holding capacity is enhanced by a particular soil, by improving the soil structure of that soil, ultimately there will be more food on the table, because the factors that contribute to good food production is soil nutrients, water, and air. So when our soils are well aerated, and they can be able to hold more water, and they have enough soil nutrients, the planted crops will definitely perform very well, and will be food secure. And your trainer in today's episode was Erastus Maina from Rodi, Kenya. Rodi, Kenya stands for Resources Oriented Development Initiatives, Kenya. I hope you enjoyed the training. Thank you and welcome.